Somebody who listens to you, because there is a realtor who wants to sell you something and you want him to sell you what you want and not what they want.
Or
they just focus
interest.
on the commission, and I think that's something like I learned that pretty early on. Then it's like I don't think about the commission. I think about what they want, because they need to be happy, and then the commission
is gonna come.
You know what I mean? It's gonna come anyway.
How do they call you? Your clients call you the...
Okay, I have a lot of nicknames.
I love that.
The shark, the one who fight for me, or
I love that. The one who's gonna fight for you. This is what you need in an agent. Someone that's gonna fight for you. That's not afraid of telling other agents, no, this is not what I want. Pushing for your deal.
Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of How Many Million. My name is Grollier and I'm with my co-host
RDeRogatis, aka Frenchy Becky.
So, Becky, what we're talking about today? What we're gonna talk about?
Well, I have a lot of people asking me, and I think this can be a video. What is it like to buy a home in Miami or South Florida in general?
What the thing you know before buying in South Florida?
What do you need to know, and what's the process like?
Okay, that's good. Let's do it.
Do you want to start us off?
Yes. What do you think is the most important thing you need to know?
Well, the first thing I ask my clients when they tell me they want to buy is how are you planning on financing the property, or if you are planning on financing the property, because before even looking at properties, we need to know what you can afford or not.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the first thing. The
first step is to look at your finance and to see if you want to pay cash or take advantage of a loan.
And because this is going to tell you, because you might not know what you can afford, maybe you think you know. So that's going to tell us where to look and what to look for, and it's going to help us in our search to not waste time and your time.
How is the process to get a loan?
What's the process to get a loan? Usually I refer my clients to someone I've worked with for a long time. But did you want to add something?
Is the same process for foreigner? Can foreigner buy also, finance also in Miami?
That's definitely the first question I ask my clients when they tell me they want to purchase a property. And so I ask the financing situation first.
And I think this is also good to tell our audience that you can, even if you're a foreigner, you can also get a loan in Miami.
Mm-hmm. You can also finance in Miami as a foreigner. That's important, because that's also, we work a lot with people from out.
People don't always know that.
And they don't always know that. They think it's scary. How do I have to do it? But definitely options for anyone looking to finance.
And once you know exactly how you can the amount you can finance and everything, that's when we start looking at where. And if you prefer a house or a condo, and like what neighborhood. And usually we educate you about different neighborhood, because if you have a family, you want to know where are the best school. If you're single and you want to party, or you like
another
to have an active life, and then we can recommend you other neighborhoods. You want to talk about the next thing you need to know also?
The next thing I think I would ask my clients, so that would start the conversation, financing, then we can know the neighborhood, educate them on that side. Then I think the next step would be...
So I think a lot of people also don't know, and this is something you need to know before moving to South Florida, about the HOA and all the amenities we have, and why the HOA are higher than other states or other country. So our amenities, first of all, our building have a lot of amenities.
4 amenities, and top-of-notch amenities.
You have valet, you have concierge, you have front desk 24 hours, you have security, you have even sheriff in the building. You have it all. Regarding security, you also have pools, jacuzzi, sauna,
gym,
wet room, yoga class,
spas,
Pilates, everything.
We cannot name them. That's how much the amenities we have. And
movie theater.
I'm losing my words. The Paramount have the most amenities.
Yes.
I think. Is it in the world or is it in the
I think it's in South Florida.
In South Florida?
Yeah.
Because they have CrossFit, boxing. I've never seen a
Golf, you can play golf.
mini golf.
You can play basketball inside and outside.
There's a movie theater.
There is a movie theater and there is a recording studio.
For all my
everything.
YouTubers / I'm trying to be a new rapper.
So when you have the HOA, a lot of HOA, all those amenities are included. And usually you have a lot, I mean, the building here are pretty big, tall. So it's not as much as if you have a house and you have all those amenities. It's going to be, your monthly cost going to be way higher. So sometimes it's good to
take that into consideration.
Yeah, it's more affordable to be in a condo than in a house. Sometimes that's what I say. And also the HOA also include most of the time the water, hot, cold water.
People don't know this because I know in France it's not like that, where you have to pay your own water when you're in a condo, but here the water is included as part of your amenities, which is amazing how much money that can save you.
Also the insurance of the building,
the
cable,
outside.
the internet and cable also included. So most of the time you just have to pay for electricity and everything.
And I think it's completely justified, the price that they put monthly for some of those buildings, because you do have great, if you really don't want to, you can stay in your building. You have the pool, you have everything on the premises. So it's completely justified, and it's also insurance for some of them. So definitely justified.
And it's good also when you don't live full time in Miami or South Florida, to be in this type of building, because if something happens in the unit, or there is like a water leak or anything, the security go and take care of everything, even if you're out of town. So this is pretty cool.
But it doesn't, I mean, some people prefer the house.
Yeah, the house living is different. I feel like, I mean, this is personal, but I feel like when you're in a family, you want to be, because you want the space, is a different type of living.
Definitely.
So one thing also then I feel like people need to know when you move to Miami or South Florida is the inspection, home inspection.
So we've gone through the process. We've done the financing. So now we're starting to look at the properties. We inform them on the HOA for some buildings. And once we go on the contract, there is an inspection period, which is usually
2 weeks,
10 to 15 days. That's standard. But that can change, obviously.
Yeah,
because you're going to tell us, because I know you have a lot of things about COVID with that inspection period being less than what it usually is.
Yeah, then you can change. The good thing with, Florida contract is like you can make it more appealing and more...
I know you have a lot of stories during COVID about the inspection period being a little bit shorter, because usually it's 10 to 15 days, but you'll tell us about that. But what is the inspection, and why is it important to do it when you're purchasing a property?
I think it's really important to do an inspection, especially when you pay cash, because you need to know, it gives you a better idea of the condition of the property, especially when it's a house, you need to go and check the roof and everything.
Right, they look at roof, I think, they look at bugs, humidity, if there's water damage.
Everything.
They look at everything.
So you know what you're buying, exactly. When you have a loan, the bank gonna send an appraiser, and they're also gonna do an inspection, so it's like you also protected by that.
I mean, they're protecting themselves.
They're protecting themselves. But talking about, when you say about my anecdote during COVID, I think we all experienced that as realtor.
Yes.
It was like crazy. Like the market was on fire, so everybody was buying left and right. And sometimes
they were
people
buying
were buying with no inspection period, and if the appraisal was, because the price were going up so fast, then the bank was not able to catch up on the price. So it's like, that's okay, I'm gonna put 100K extra cash, or that was crazy.
But tell us about the appraisal, because I think that's a good point to point out, the appraisal process, because I don't think a lot of people know what's the appraisal process and how can that affect your deal?
So basically, the bank send an appraiser to inspect the property, and they give you the value, what they think the value of the property is with comparable and the condition of the property. And they're going to tell you, okay, so that's good because you know that you're buying at the fair price. So sometimes the inspection come higher, sometimes it go lower. Usually your realtor know before the bank because they doing
they use the same comparables.
Because they use the same comparable. Sometimes we have some issue with that, but they're supposed to use the same comparable, so you know. And that's also a good question you can ask your realtor also when you work. With us is like, okay, I want to see the comparable. Usually I send that automatically to my client just to show them, it's like, okay, let's get an aggressive offer, you know. This is the market and that's a fair price you're going to pay. But the bank is also doing that. And
so I know I used to go to the appraisal appointment. I know not every realtor go to the appraisal appointment.
I like to go, so
but
I have no surprise.
Yeah, I have no surprise, and I'm there. I'm showing them this. Did you see this property? Okay. Did you see this comparable? Did you see that? So that I know that it's appraised properly.
And I think that's why also most of the clients want to work with a realtor, so we there for the whole process and making sure everything goes smoothly.
Yeah, but not every realtor do that.
Yeah,
they don't go to the appraisal process. You really, you really have to find the good realtors that are gonna really have your best interest at heart.
Yeah,
because you
should. Yeah, usually, I feel like realtor need to be there.
Yeah,
for the appraisal.
But not all of them do that. I definitely do it.
I'm doing it too.
So going back to the inspection, so you said during COVID, they were basically doing no inspection. I have that happen too, where they didn't do inspection. But you can have surprises. If you don't do an inspection, you buy the property and that's on you. Because after the inspection period is over, when you put the deadline and you pass that, the contract is hard. Yeah. There's not a lot of possibilities to get out of the contract. So, and then you purchase your property, and then you find out there are rats. There are rats in the house, or the plumbing is not good. You have to redo the whole plumbing. Sometimes the houses have plumbing underground, so that means you have to break all your floors and redo all your floors to change the plumbing.
You can have some bad surprises.
So you can have some really bad surprises, and that can cost you a lot of money if you don't do the
inspection. I think that's something you need to do.
Yeah, no, definitely super important, and definitely something that I would recommend my clients doing. I wasn't letting my clients do no inspection even during COVID. Yeah. And even if I had to get an inspector there right away and beg them to.
But that was hard during COVID. That was hard.
Yeah, because all the inspectors they were so busy.
So busy, yeah.
Yeah, but we were lucky because we had inspector that we were working with. So because we had a lot of properties at the same time, so we were like, come here. Yeah. And we're like, please give us the results so we know, so we can move forward and not lose the contract. Yeah. Because owners were iffy at that period too. Owners were getting out of contracts to.
They was trying to upsell.
Upsell, exactly. Yeah, because they had a higher offer. I never seen that, and they were bidding on houses, so they were asking price, usually what they put on the market, and then you would put your offer, and they're like, oh no, we have so we put a full price offer, so the price that they, and then they're like, oh no, we can accept because we have over asking. Yeah. How much over asking? 10,000 over asking. Okay,
but legally you're not supposed to
disclose.
Yeah, to disclose the other offers.
Yeah, but I mean, during COVID, it was savage. Yeah. people were giving out information. It was crazy. It was a different world. It doesn't happen like that anymore.
It's not. Now it calmed down a little bit. Yeah. We are in 2024. It calmed down, and now I think are more. Now is starting to shift. Last year, now because the interest rate went up a lot. Now you can be more aggressive when you want to buy. You can be more aggressive on the price, and you have time to do your inspection and everything. It's not war anymore.
Yeah, it's not the war. We were at war during COVID.
But that was, I mean,
Are
there's
you-
still a lot of good deal to make now, even if it's not war. Because the interest rates are high, so if you have cash, I feel like this is the time to buy because you can really,
Yeah, and
before everything go up again.
yeah, and everything's gonna go up again. The pricing, I think, of the houses are definitely gonna go up. And then there's underrated areas that people don't really talk about, Miami
Yeah.
Beach and places like that, Buena Vista,
Yeah.
that are you can still make really good deals, but people don't talk about it.
Yeah, there's still good deals to make in Miami. Going back to the HOA, we talk about the HOA, but we didn't talk about the property tax. And property tax in Florida is 1.8%, 2% of the sales price. That's great to know that because other states and other countries, in France we have two tax,
Yeah.
two different ones. In other states they have a lot more. So Miami, South Florida, or Florida, the entire Florida is pretty good with that.
Yeah,
This is
I think that's a good
to know that.
yeah, it's a good thing to point out too.
And so we talk about all the things you need to know before buying. What do you think? Because one of the most important things is to choose your realtor, who's going to help you and have a really easy process and have a successful process.
Listen to me, everyone is a realtor in Miami. Even the promoter at Live or the promoter in front of Mr. Jones is a realtor. But not, you cannot trust everyone with that kind of investment.
Yeah.
So
because that's your largest investment. So
yes,
you need to be.
You cannot trust everyone, and there is good and bad agents. People that work full time as agents, people that do it as a one deal, two deal kind of things.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone that's looking for an agent in Miami?
I think
to look for.
I think you need to research your realtor and see that he's really active. I have a client one day who come and contact me. He's like, Julia, I contacted you because you've been a realtor more than 5 years. I think I say that in another podcast, but I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you need to be with somebody who know what they're talking about. So you need to research them, and also somebody who's knowledgeable.
Definitely.
Usually come with time, but you know, if you see them they in the market they active for a long time, they should be pretty knowledgeable, and somebody who listen to you because there is realtor who want to sell you something, and you want him to sell you what you want and not what they want.
Yeah.
So I think
they see their commission more
they
than
just
their
focus
interest.
on the commission, and I think that's something like I learned that pretty early on. Then it's like I don't think about the commission. I think about what they want because they need to be happy, and then the commission
so
comes
gonna
after.
come.
You know what I mean? It's gonna come anyway. But I think that's one of the things you need to look at. So what do you think people should look at when choosing their realtor?
I think someone that's trustworthy. I'm losing my words here. Trustworthy, and someone that's gonna close a deal.
Yeah,
a
go-getter.
A go-getter that's gonna close your deal,
and it doesn't lose your time. Like time is money, and we don't want somebody like a realtor who's gonna try to show you the whole city.
Yeah,
they
don't know what
they're
doing. Yeah,
like
they don't know what they're doing.
You know, or he doesn't really understand what you really look for, because when you're really ready to buy, you should do maybe 3 to 4 showings, and you should find your property right away. Like you're not supposed to look for months. I think that's
how do they call you? Your clients call you the.
Okay, I have a lot of nicknames.
I love
that. The shark, the one who fight for me, or you know?
I love that. The one who's gonna fight for you. This is what you need in an agent. Someone that's gonna fight for you. That's not afraid of telling other agents, no, this is not what I want. Pushing for your deal. I think that's a great compliment.
I take all of them as a compliment. But yeah, I think like.
And is there any red flags of agents things that people should look out for? like red flags, okay, the one that's gonna show you like the whole city.
Yeah, you're not supposed to see.
That means they're not listening to you and what you want.
Other red flag. Somebody, I already talked about it before, but if he doesn't listen to you, or if he's trying to push you to buying something that you don't want, you know, I think that's
a red flag.
Yeah, it's like some people, they just, like we talked before, it's like they're just thinking about the realtors, they're just thinking about the commission. It's like, okay, this one is way more expensive, but this one is as good. It's cheaper, you know, it's less expensive.
They're trying to make a deal for themselves and not for the client.
And not for them. So I think you need to be with the realtor, really put them there in your shoes and really understand your situation, what you need, what your family needs, because this is your biggest investment, so you cannot really, you know, play with that.
There's also realtors that are not available. I think that's a big red flag when you're texting a realtor and they don't answer, or you call them and they're not available.
Yeah.
I think also that is a red flag. And I've had experience with realtors that don't know, for example, they're selling in a building.
Yeah, they don't know all the facts.
And they don't know all the facts about the building. The first thing you do when you get a listing in a building is, okay, what's the HOA? How much are you going to pay a month? What's going on in the building? Do they have special assessment? Do they have anything? I had a realtor, I had a client interested in a property, and I was negotiating, and I told them, but do you know the pool is not functional? And they're like, really? It's not? Oh my God, I didn't know. How come you didn't? This is your listing. You should know this.
Yeah.
And if I'm the client and I knew my realtor didn't know this, I would be so furious because I need to know this. You should know these things because it affects your property value and the negotiation process.
The whole transaction.
The whole transaction is affected. So if I was a client, this is what I want a client that knows.
You want a realtor that knows what they're doing and they know about the property. Going back to time, realtor who doesn't respond right away, I feel like we work as a team, right? So it's like if the realtor is really busy, because sometimes we get super busy and you know, it's like you need to like team a realtor part of a team or who has his own team. I think that's also a strength.
Yeah, because you have...
Yeah, it's like sometimes we get super busy, but it's like we always have somebody from our team who can help you out. So I think this is also important
to mention.
Yeah.
That's good. Is there anything you wanted to add to this?
I feel like we talk about a lot of things.
Yes.
We cover a lot of points.
I hope
that was helpful. And if you have any question, please don't forget to comment. Subscribe, like, share, and we're going to see you soon in another episode of How Many Millions?